When a cold July night summons journalist Gabriel to a decommissioned hospital's psychiatric ward, he steps into a nightmare where the past and present collide, and the darkness inside reflects the darkness within. Gabriel was no stranger to darkness. As a journalist, he hunted shadows. The crime scenes smeared with tragedy, the wreckage of souls left drifting after accidents, the unspeakable oddities that many preferred to ignore. Yet, nothing had prepared him for the call that cracked through the chill of a late July night like an unnatural breath. The voice, flat yet coaxing, promised a story that would change everything. If you want a story that will change your life, come now to São Lucas Hospital, Room 23, Old Wing. São Lucas Hospital was a relic, a husk of forgotten suffering. Deactivated years ago, its corridors had surrendered to silence, decay creeping in like a slow poison. Only one sector yet clung to faint life, the psychiatric ward isolated, entrenched in nightmare shadows. Gabriel's breath frosted in the air as he approached, the night wrapping cold fingers around him, the hospital looming like a skeletal giant, breaths of stale, sterile air wafting faintly through cracked windows. Inside, the lights did not welcome him. They shuddered, hiccuping fluttering stabs of illumination that stretched shadows into creaking hands. The narrow hallway seemed to lean closer, the walls exhaling a damp, antiseptic sting mingled with the faintest copper tang, as if the air itself remembered blood. A nurse emerged from the gloom, her face worn and drained, eyes glazed as if absorbing some eternal fatigue. Without a word, barely a nod, she guided Gabriel onward. The flickering flux of dying fluorescence overhead cast jittering shadows that danced like broken puppets, their jerky movements echoing the tightening throb of Gabriel's own pulse. Steps forwarded, then slowed, silence clawed between breaths. The hospital seemed to hold its breath. At the door to room 23, the smell hit Gabriel fully. Sharp disinfectant blended disturbingly with the metallic undercurrent of old blood, copper-rich and sour beneath his nostrils, prickling the skin of his face. The door groaned open. Inside, a thin man lay sprawled on a bed, skin pale and greyish, the kind of pallor that suggested more than illness. It was the deathly veil itself. His chest rose and fell but unevenly, each ragged breath a battle. Sunken eyes lifted, hollow yet fixated, tracking Gabriel as if he were a ghost approaching from beyond. The nurse's whisper was scarcely more than a breath of fear. He was declared dead 3 days ago. The body was prepared for burial, but he woke up. Her voice trembled beneath the flickering light, a fragile thread quivering in the gathering darkness. Gabriel knelt, voice low, probing for truth. Yet the man's replies twisted the air, short, dragging, hoarse murmurs that didn't speak of himself, but of Gabriel. Spoken phrases echoed buried chambers in his mind, childhood dreams once scribbled in secret journals, traumas no camera had ever caught, shreds of his soul he had locked away from the world. How could this stranger know? A creeping cold seeped into Gabriel's bones. How do you know? The question died on Gabriel's lips. The man's lips peeled back into a grim, unnatural smile. Blackened teeth gleamed like a shuttered abyss. A cold breath exhaled, a vapor that whispered of frost and rot, settling thick and heavy into the room, snuffing out warmth like a dying candle. Because I've been on the other side. And there, you were too, the voice rasped again. It hung in the flickering air like the silent echo of a nightmare. Suddenly, the lights stuttered and died, plunging the room into viscous darkness. When illumination returned, the bed was empty, no trace of the man. The door remained closed, heavy and unyielding. Then, a slow, dragging sound emerged from somewhere behind Gabriel. Footsteps, methodical, endless, clawing at sanity. He spun. In the furthest corner the figure stood motionless, now changed. Skin darkened to nearly black, suckling the room's scant light, as if trying to absorb life itself. Eyes, void white, unblinking, shone spectral. The temperature plummeted, the air crystallized into frost against Gabriel's skin. A biting cold sank into his marrow as the man advanced, his shadow stretching and twisting like smoke in the suffocating silence. Panic struck the nurse's pounding hands against the door, pleading for release, but the locks held firm, cold iron searing her desperation. The figure stepped closer, each movement leaching warmth and hope, leaving a hollowed chill in their wake. When he reached out, a single cold hand rested on Gabriel's shoulder, ice wrapped in flesh. "You'll come back too, but not alone," he breathed. The words carried finality, a shadowed promise sealed beneath the hostile light. Night released its grip as dawn strained in weak lines across the hospital yard. Police found room 23 empty, the walls still tight. No Gabriel, No sound, but the lingering metallic scent that muttered threats. On the bed, the patient lay once more. No breath, no movement, death reclothed in silence. Clutched in his lifeless hands was a camera, its cold metal a shard of lingering mystery. Within, only one photograph. Gabriel, pale and still, standing beside the bed, his lips curved unnaturally in a smile too wide, too knowing, as if the shadow had swallowed him whole and etched a darker joke for morning's light. The hospital sighed. A breath of stale antiseptic heavy with haunting echoes, and the old wing settled deeper into its eternal slumber, waiting for its next visitor. Dare to step beyond the veil with Gabriel? Enter San Lucas Hospital's haunted corridors where reality blurs and shadows remember. Read Echoes from Room 23 if you can handle the truth lurking beneath the light.